A warm welcome everyone from Swarnim Startup and Innovation University. I, Arpita Vyas, would like to inform you all about our university and the WEDC cell. We introduce ourselves as India's first startup university, Swarnim Startup and Innovation University, working under the vision and mission of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Swarnim Startup and Innovation University is the first of its kind university in India, dedicated to promoting startup and entrepreneurship. The inspiring environment of the campus in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, along with the Swarnim Incubation Center, allows students to explore, validate, and launch their business ideas. The university is hyperactive and ideas from the front in all social causes. Our vision is to become a globally competent institution, imparting education based upon the foundation of innovation and entrepreneurship. The university has undertaken various initiatives to support the government, such as Vocal for Local campaign. Swarnim University promoted 170 local vendors on various social media platforms. It also organized an exhibition to provide a platform to local vendors and help them expand their markets. In the university, we have built a women entrepreneurship and development cell. We focus on building gender-sensitive campus, free from gender discrimination. WEDC also focuses on the well-being of the teaching, non-teaching staff of the campus. And overall, we work for women empowerment, women rights, enhanced skill that women entrepreneurs need for their own handholding. Our major focus areas are education, skill development, startups, employment, and to generate employment opportunities for women at large. The cell is also 24/7 available for any grievances faced by females in the campus. Amid the coronavirus pandemic, India has witnessed the steepest economic contraction amongst major economies around the world in the first quarter of financial year 2021. Resulting in millions of job losses and shutdown of many businesses, with COVID-19 creating both supply as well as demand shock. It has pushed India towards its first recession in the last 4 decades. While the government and businesses continue to strive, what is completely neglected is the role of women entrepreneurs that may bring a significant changes in the current situation if understood and supported properly. To make us understand the economic recovery of India and to share the roles of women entrepreneurs in the entire scenario, I would like to welcome our esteemed panel with us today. First, I would like to introduce them. I would like to introduce Mrs. Poonam G. Kaushik, is a multifaceted businesswoman and is the founder and deputy managing director of Metroix Bio Pharmaceuticals Private Limited. She is also the founder and managing trustee of Vishalvin Foundation, which is working on various social objectives. Her focus roles have been into business development, finance management, corporate communication, media relations, brand management, human resources, and consulting. Then I would like to introduce our second panelist, our esteemed panelist, Ms. Neha Malu, is an MBA by qualification and with a work experience of more than a decade in the field of advertising, public relation and business strategy, having wide experience of working closely with brands like Tata Steel, Arvind Limited, Vodafone. Ms. Neha Malu founded toyforrent.in, an online toy library in 2013, the first online toy library company in Gujarat. The company that started as a library has now tie-ups with 5-star hotels in the city for their exclusive kid-centric events. In the year 2020, she started Voricious, which stands for Work Resource is Precious. It provides cost-efficient and professional outsourcing solutions to organizations in many verticals of marketing. Third, we have with us Ms. Munmun, co-owns and operates MN Studio. She is a marketing grade, primarily took her to her inner love for creativity after completing her education. She has been working in the industry since 5 years now. Warm welcome everyone from again from Swarnim Startup and Innovation University. Before we go ahead, I would like to invite Honorable MD Global and Women Entrepreneurship Cell, Mrs. Nikita Jain ma'am. Under her vision and guidance, we take such kind of innovative initiatives for women at large. Welcome ma'am, and stage is yours ma'am.
Thank you very much, Arpita ma'am, for kind words. And good evening, every audience here. Welcome to Swarnim Startup and Innovation University. I am Nikita Adi Jain, MD Global and Head of Women Entrepreneur and Development Cell. Today, we all here joined for a panel discussion which is going to be live over the topic Women Entrepreneur in Recurring Economy. First of all, I warm welcome all the panel members who are the experts in their field. And foremost, I like to welcome all our three panel members, Mrs. Munmun Goswami ma'am, Mrs. Neha Malu ma'am, and Mrs. Poonamji Kaushik ma'am. Thank you for being here at Swarnim University. Since a long time, the opinion regards the woman entrepreneurship is changing as it can be very visibly seen. Prior to this, the opinion used to be if a woman is doing something out from the house, it's just an extra activity of her interest, which is doing by her own interest, and there is nothing with the contribution and impacting the economy. If a woman is working, so the opinion was that. And now the scenario is so changing and it can be seen. And now we are need not to explain anybody that the entrepreneurship about the woman is changing the next level. And you have a lots of examples of women entrepreneurs who is working at the global level. We all here are collected for this positive change, which can be really seen in the generation wise, and we are stepping ahead further and further, framing an example over the world and what the economy is up to, and what is this changing world we can have for. So, people, moving ahead with this panel discussion, I request all the speakers to start with the panel. Thank you.
So, Munmun, you go first.
Yeah, it's a very nice happening topic that we are discussing today. The role of women in economies of the country has always been there. Okay, and traditionally, if we look at it, there was a period in time when the contribution of women in the economy was completely obliviated out. But if I go back beyond the Mughals, like women were revered as important contributors to the economy. And I think that trend is coming back now after the pandemic hit, because there were news of a lot of women who were, adding to the momentum of the economic revival of the family after the man lost his job. So I think it started from there. Men taking having been put in a circumstance where they are forced to take a back step, or that momentum being hindered somehow, that has allowed us women to come out as an entity and prove what we are. So go ahead.
Yes, I'll go after Neha. Neha, please, you can start.
Okay. All right. So first, I would like to cite one example which I myself have seen, and I was really shocked at my first experience. So when we say the role of women entrepreneurs in the economic development of the country, the one example which I had seen from my eyes would like to cite is of the China. So when we have those vibrant Gujarat meets, right, in Gujarat, I had set up my stall there and I visited the pavilion which was specifically for China. And to my surprise, that was my first experience, okay? And to my surprise, I was shocked to see that all the stall owners were the women there. And the men there were supporting them. They were the one who was doing the negotiation and talking. And the scenario is absolutely different in case of India, right? So when you visit the Indian Pavilion, which is like our center, it was surprising. Out of 100, probably 2 or 3 maximum on a higher side. Though there was this another cell for women specifically, which is their women's wing. That is a different story. But why the woman is not in the mainstream is my question. Or is something which I really fail to understand. Of course, because of our social background, our social responsibility of being an Indian woman, we carry a lot more baggage than any other woman in the world, I would say. So I understand that is one restriction. I, being a mother of 2, having a business of my own, being a wife, being a in-law, daughter-in-law, I understand the constraint, which of course is not there in other countries. So that's one part to it. The China, of course, one of the developed nation, I would say now, the woman is there in the mainstream. So here, I guess the women need to get into the mainstream, as you said. Like I think Mrs. Jane just mentioned that it's okay. It's good that you are doing tuition. That is good. You're doing a home cooking is good. But what next is the question that should motivate. So that could be done with the proper mentoring sessions or hand holding sessions, which could motivate these women also to go into a different strata or different level of their business. I guess that's it.
True, true. Yes, Poonam ma'am.
Yes, hello everyone. First of all, thank you. Thank you, Nikita, Arpita, everyone, to give us this wonderful opportunity to talk about such a beautiful subject. To me, women empowerment, or when we talk about women as entrepreneurs, I think we all are inbuilt entrepreneurs. We all are like an inbuilt good managers. From the very beginning that we grow up, at very tender ages, our moms start telling us that, you have to be learning this along with your studies. You have to be learning that because tomorrow you'll go to the other family and you'll have to have additional responsibilities. So as a mother plays a part to make us a good manager, the father has to play a part to educate us to be independent and, being a roaring woman going forward and competing into the business circles dominated by male. When I joined my father at the age of 17, we were in a business area where it was 100% male dominated. Sometimes it was so that when I used to travel with my dad for business meetings, I was the only woman among 200, the entire hall of 200 men into the industry. But my father never restricted me. He always promoted me to go ahead and learn. And he inculcated that values in me that even if anything comes negative, take it positively. You can do it, you can rule over it, and you can be an influencer going forward. That although in this men-dominated world, you are able to learn, you are able to move ahead. So that confidence in me was inculcated by my fathers and here by my father. And here I would appeal all the men watching this today. You have to inculcate that confidence in your female child that she can go ahead and do it. As important the role of a mother is, the similar role a father has to play to inculcate those values in us to actually go ahead and become a woman entrepreneur. So I would just like to start this conversation with this message to all the men out there. Thank you.
So true, ma'am. So my first question for Munmun ma'am is, how has entrepreneurship challenges changed, especially for women?
I would say it has always been challenging. It is still challenging. It will always be challenging. That is a truth that we have all to accept. Given the gender equality campaigns and blah, 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 whatever we are doing, but still, decades and eons of conditioning does not change overnight. So the challenge will always be there. But yes, the scenario is changing. We can see the challenges are shifting from challenge A to challenge B. Initially, it was औरत काम करेगी, कैसे करेगी, घर कौन संभालेगा, आदमी तो कमा रहा है, तुमको कमाने की कहाँ जरूरत है. So we have lifted ourselves from that mentality.
Right.
Now it is more about, okay, you're a girl, you do whatever you like, you still have a husband, okay, you work, but yeah, you know. So
Mindset of society, basically.
yes, mindset of society. And I'll tell you one more thing. We women are very underestimated. I think that is the utmost challenge that we face. Anywhere we go, we are underestimated. Well, like I want to give this message out very clearly to people. We are extremely good managers.
And also multitasking.
Multitaskers. Right now I'm sitting and thinking what I'll make for dinner. I'm also thinking about the tomorrow's deliverable to a client.
Right.
And I'll make sure it happens. Both of them at the same time.
Right.
I don't think men are raised to think like that. And somewhere that mentality comes कि यार इन्होंने किया तो ये आएंगे तो पता नहीं क्या कर लेंगे. I somewhere think there is that insecurity in the patriarchy as a whole कि आएंगे तो कर लेंगे, आने ही मत दो. Sort of. So I think the utmost challenge is the mentality, but given the pandemic, given the changes in the way we are working, the work from home, this, that, I'm hoping it does not go back to the previous normal. It stays to this normal, because this is quite now changing the conditioning of how women are being seen in the workforce. So yes, that's my take on it.
Absolutely. Poonam ma'am, your thoughts on this?
Yes. So I believe, Arpita, that when we talk about entrepreneurship challenges, especially for women, being an entrepreneur is not easy for a man or a woman. You know, it is equally difficult for both, because entrepreneurship needs so much of nurturing from right from, you know, conceptualizing a business to managing the finances, to getting the business on floor, market the business or the services that you have, getting the responses, taking the feedbacks, you know, improvising on your business. So for women entrepreneurs or the male counterparts, it's equally challenging. The women, on the other hand, have a couple of more challenges, which are, I guess, that you also have to manage your house along with your professional responsibilities or your entrepreneurship responsibilities. You're managing the house, you're managing the child. But I believe we can also come over it. We can also be very good managers if we build a very good squad at home. You know, if we are building a good squad at home to help us around, we can also encounter that challenge and focus on our work from whatever time we are actually trained to work for. So I believe that all the challenges that we go through as a woman or a man for entrepreneurship is quite similar. We have to have additional 2 responsibilities, and for that we have to be programming ourselves to take care of that additional 2 challenge at home and actually build a very good squad to deal with it. It is as good as being a very good entrepreneur, where you are actually having a very good team supporting you at workplace so that you can actually take care of your business goals. So that is my side.
Right. So true. Neha ma'am, would like to know your thoughts on the challenges of women entrepreneurs.
I would just like to add on to what Ms. Poonam has mentioned. See, the challenges are going to be there for male and female equally. They both have their own set of challenges. For instance, if I being a woman say कि आज मेरा month का business नहीं हुआ है, so that's ठीक है, tension है. But at the same time, if a husband come and say कि यार मेरे को salary नहीं है, I don't have this much thing. So he also can't say that right upfront. He cannot. He has his own set of responsibilities. Now, besides that, for a woman, especially being an entrepreneur, I think it's about the attitude. You really need to have an attitude. Come what may. I mean, be it a problem of the house side, or if there are some challenges when it comes to kids' education, or if it's a business thing, anything. But it has to be in your attitude. And I guess if it is in the attitude, the problem gets a solution, because niklega, solution to nikalna hi padega. That's the one thing. If you have that sorted, life keeps going on. Challenges to har cheez mein aane hi wale hain, for anything and everything.
So
Yeah.
true, so true. So positive attitude means makes you to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to have right set of positive people also around you, which keeps you motivated and get going. Which that's a very strong support system you need to build on, which could be your friends and families or even your partner.
Yes.
That's very important.
उनके support के बिना तो actually कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Then that's the
I
fact.
think that applies to both the genders somehow. Men
Yes.
also need that support system to perform well in whatever they are, not only entrepreneurship, anywhere.
Anywhere, anywhere. So true. My next question is for Neha ma'am. How are women entrepreneurs leveraging data and technological adaptability?
Okay. See, I guess post-pandemic, especially post-pandemic, the accessibility towards the technology has become very easy and also very cost efficient.
Yes.
And besides that, in this phase of last 1 year, if I can say so, we have explored a quite a vast variety of technology which can actually ease our work into multiple formats. I mean, I personally have discovered so many softwares which have not only upgraded my quality of work, but also have enhanced my customer experiences. For example, now we have very effective time management software, which does not only let me know the work done by my people at one go, but also they know their task beforehand ki this is to be done. So the system has become very systematic for us. When I say the technological advancement that we have done in span of last 6 months.
Right.
Besides that, my offering towards my client for the product and services have also increased. So probably if I was offering them yesterday one thing, today with more of technology that we have used or implemented in my business, I'm able to offer them at least 4 times more than what I was offering them before. So that's very important to stay upgraded. That's something I really am very focused right from the very beginning of my career and has really helped me a lot to be technologically savvy. Like, whatever is happening, I'm using it or not a secondary thing, but at least I should be aware about it, how it is benefiting others in the similar kind of business. Yeah.
So awareness must be there and we must have to be techno savvy, basically. Right. Munmun ma'am, what your add-ons on this?
See, I have been into the technological background since the starting of my career. Okay. So technology is something that I have worked with, been into, worked with, worked for. So what I feel is, after we got over we are still getting over the pandemic thing, I am seeing a sudden surge of a lot of apps, lot of software help coming up. Like the spike is huge. And because the crowd has become so comfortable with technology now, in my era we did not have access to technology. I remember till I was in college, I didn't have a laptop. Kids nowadays have a tablet in their hands when they are 5. It is amazing how technology is changing the whole workforce area. And just like Neha said, it helps, cheaper solutions help us offer value to our clients at the same rate. So it keeps us on the upfront, on the edge. So technology is changing the way we are looking at things now.
Right.
I would like to add one more point here, that while we know and while we all know that after particularly in the pandemic situation, we had this affordable technology as well as hands-on applications, hands-on supports to connect to our offices through Zoom calls and through Microsoft Teams, etc. It has also helped us having a plan for future in a way that tomorrow, if as a mother, I am not able to travel, I'll still not miss on my meetings because I have another venue that my technology will connect me to my counterparts wherever they are in the world, and I'm still going to be present for my meetings. So I guess this is a major learning. Pehle, we always had this psychology in our mind, oh, okay, hame personally wahan jana hai, we have to be there. We have to be there to connect to our clients. Yes, that personal connection bonding is important, but in terms of in contingent situations, we can always use the technology for being there and not missing out on any important work. So as a woman entrepreneur or any other entrepreneur, or even our young generations are of course all the more techno savvy than what we are. My 9-year-old child, she puts reminders every 2 hours for whatever she needs to do. She's much more planned than what we are. So she'll tell her iPad, Siri, wake me up at 4. I have my guitar class. So the Siri does the job and not the mother. So I guess yes, technology is doing pretty good for all of us.
It has its effects also, though.
Yeah.
I just want to add on to this similar thing that we have been talking about, the technology now. So I even have the segment of virtual assistants in my portfolio as a offering for my clients. So when a year back I would mention a virtual assistant to anybody, they would be, why would I want somebody in your office sitting and doing my work, like sitting from your office? But now I have to sell that, explain an hours of Gyan to make them understand what virtual assistance is. Now the word virtual have become so common. It's like the strategy which we would say, it's a cliche, jargon jaisa ho gaya hai strategy. Now the virtual word have become such a cliche kind of thing. So virtual assistants is, people are easily able to relate to it.
Synonymous.
So that has that's really helped me a lot in a positive way, I would say.
Yeah. So Poonam ma'am, are there any extra steps that are required to be taken for the women entrepreneurs of economically backward classes?
No, I beg to differ here. Economically weaker section, the women are much more independent than what we assume them to be, because there's a need. Their financial condition are seasoned to want them to go work and earn for themselves. So as in my NGO, whatever section we work with, we see the women are much more forthcoming. They have much more better time management systems than us, and they have been working to feed their families because there is a need and not a luxury, whether you want to work or not work and what your in-laws are saying and what your husband is saying. There's always a need for the lady to work because she has to be feeding her children, and economically weaker sections grow. They have been doing odd jobs. They have been doing helping jobs, domestic jobs. They are now getting trained by the skill development program of Government of India to be electricians, to be plumbers, to be house helps, to be sanitation workers. So I guess there's already being done, and they do not require any other motivation than the amount of money they need to feed their family. So I don't think that we need anything else there. As a part of social enterprise that I run, in sections, we definitely try to uplift the women and promote them to tell them that, like, work with children with special needs. So we are going to be running a program where every mother who has a special need child can also get some work while the kid is in the therapy center. She can take certain training, and then we help her give the kids to work. So yes, there is where section wise we can add to their entrepreneurship skills, but I believe they already have much on their hands to start working.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So Munmun ma'am, your take in this?
I agree. I tend to agree with Poonam on this. See, the weaker sections of the society are conditioned in a way different manner than the middle class or the upper middle class or the higher class of the societies are. And I wouldn't say a lot needs to be done. Yes, training. Yes, they need to be trained into different skill sets so that they can, going forward, build something on top of what they are learning right now. But I think a lot is being done already. I personally know people, males, I'm talking about males, females together, coming together, building platforms just to promote other women entrepreneurs who are from a lower rank of the society, who are from a weaker economic background. I know about a business called Buy Homemade that sells homemade products made by small-time women entrepreneurs, and they sell it on their platform. So a lot is being done to promote women from the weaker sections. I would say sectionless. Like a lot is already being done to promote women from all sections of the society, and the weaker sections are no exception.
Right. Yeah, I totally take your point, Munmun. Like you said it very nicely, actually. I would just, if given a chance, like there's one point which really bothers me. So if something can be done, is basically if there could be just the thought which came to my mind is if there could be a kind of crash or a daycare facilities for the people of these kind. So especially I'm talking about especially for the young girls. So when you see all those wrong things happening, when you read in the newspapers, it's mostly for the females, the girl childs. So of course that is one area. If the government can get into steps of this where they are taking a some route where the women can leave their kids, especially the girl childs, and go to the work safely. So if something can be done in this line would be really helpful for, I mean, all the women, I guess, with the different level. This would be really a good step if could be taken in a right direction.
Right. So true.
Right. For all sections, Neha, yes.
For all the sections, it is required.
Sections, yes, but everyone. Like I have my house fitted with CCTV cameras except the bedrooms because I have a girl child whom I leave alone at home while we are at work. So yes, it matters for every section.
Right. It has to be for all the sections. Yes, yes, I agree totally. I have two kids, both the girl child, so I understand that totally.
So Munmun ma'am, what kind of economic recovery should India adopt in a general scenario?
I would want you to elaborate on your question a little bit. Like it is very generic for me to answer.
It means basically we are talking about women entrepreneurs. And overall economic recovery ke liye means what should India adopt?
See, I think the government is doing enough. Of course, more can always be done. But whatever it is doing, at the pace at which it is doing it is really good. Like after years, we are seeing all these things being done, all these schemes by the government, all these facilities by the government, non-government bodies, private bodies, other women entrepreneurs are coming together to uplift women. That is there. Okay, I accept it. We all accept it, right? So as far as adapting is concerned, I think, okay, this is my own example. I have been working from home since 5 years now.
Oh.
Way before the pandemic hit. Okay. And I have seen people get very aggressive towards the whole idea of घर से काम कैसे कर सकते हो, घर संभाल के कैसे काम करोगे, हमारा output compromised होगा. Okay, and I have had to deal with this because ऐसा नहीं होता है. Honestly, ऐसा नहीं होता है. ठीक है. And now after the pandemic, we are seeing a lot of work from home. We are seeing a lot of empathy towards not only women, but men who are working from home also, because now it is about everybody.
New normal.
Yes, it is the new normal.
New normal.
So I think we should, as a society, as a society, as an economy, as a democracy, completely, we should all be way more open-minded than we are towards the norms of workspace. Because I am doing something in some manner does not make it right or wrong. Somebody else can have the similar output with another methodology. But that mindset, that acceptance needs to be there. And you know what? For us women, acceptance means a lot. I am talking only about myself, but I also think I'm talking about a lot of other women, because we are raised to believe that we are supposed to be humble and subtle and jo sabne kaha wo maan lo. But I think हमारे लिए acceptance और the acceptance of the voice of women means a lot to us. So when smaller things are identified and accepted as a part of the whole economic revolution, जैसे किसी का 2 साल का बच्चा है, फिर भी उसको काम तो करना है, she is capable, right? So making some sort of arrangement for that kind of women at home, at workplace, I think those are the smaller things that need to be done rather than some big huge step towards uplifting of women. No, that's not necessary. तो छोटी-छोटी चीजें करते तो बड़ा हो जाता है. But we need to start doing things from a very preliminary level. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Poonam ma'am, your stake in this.
When we talk about, I think your question was that what kind of economic recovery should India adopt in general scenario? See, economic recovery for any economy comes with more flow of money, additional flow of money, or a consistent flow of money in the system. So, the consistent flow of money comes in the system where you have investing class, where you have more people who are educated and they understand the relevance of investing, and more and more money in the circulation gets distributed to the right channels, and that money always is in the circulation, and we are not holding that money. India essentially, since a very long period, has been a money holder than a money circulator, right? Because we sona kharid ke rakho, chandi kharid ke rakho. So we create assets at home, and we do not add those assets to the economy for a circulation. But in the younger generation, like we see a lot of our youngsters who are educated now earning very well into IT companies like situated in Bangalore and Hyderabad, and with big paychecks at a very young age. They have been investing into different areas, into mutual funds. Even the government has played a major role in telling people how mutual funds are beneficial. So be it a woman entrepreneur, be it a male counterpart, the recovery happens only when your investments are solid and you're educating different classes and masses that if you invest here, you are going to get this amount of returns. Also, in our country, after the PM has launched a better investment scheme for old age and retired people, there has a lot of money has been invested by senior citizens into the system, which has actually helped it. So yes, an economic recovery in any case has to be supported by each and every class, where we are actually helping the system with more money and mobilizing these resources well. Post-COVID scenario is one classic example where we see that everybody is trying to cope up with that 9 months or 10 months of loss, and now trying to make up for that period. We all are in back of our mind, our systems will always tell us that we have this 9 months or 10 months of vacuum, and we need to fill in for that. You see a major population, a major chunk of investors trying to do this through stock markets, through banking systems, through mutual funds. So I believe the economic recovery in this area will happen if there is more awareness, and we have our youngsters with good paychecks flowing more money into the system.
Right. I think we should encourage startups also, more women startups. Right. Yes. Yeah. Neha ma'am, please.
I would like to add the economic recovery and economic growth together. I'll just like to put this together and answer this one. So I'll state the data first. Now, if we say, according to a report, 48% of the population is women. Okay, now the point to look at it is how much of them are contributing to the economic GDP of the country. So which is like approximately 25% in whichever format of the economic financial activity that they are doing. So now you see the gap is like half of it. So we need more of the women to come up front, be it entrepreneurship or maybe a jobs or anything. So when we first thing is, if you have a woman entrepreneur and if she's the one who is earning, the higher chance of a woman spending power would be either on their kids or on their health. Which,
Yeah.
if you see the cycle itself, it is going to add to the boost the productivity of the economy any which ways. So it is important to contribute in whichever form to come, like you just mentioned, Miss Arpita, like, there has to be more of startup women startup. Now, even if you see, we have like approximately, as per a data that I was going through, we have approximately 22,000 or so startups last year, out of which sadly only 4% are of the females. So we, in spite of so many things, in spite of so many initiatives by the government or by the associations, by the leading companies, still why is such a huge gap is something that needs to be studied. It is like a scheme launch karna is not a big task. Guidelines banana is not a big task. It's okay. But the point is why the woman is not able to utilize it. Something the research has to be done on those lines.
True, so
Where
true.
the gap is. If you're giving the money, where is that money going? Who is making most of it?
Exactly.
So these are the areas which really needs to, I mean, पहले, as somebody just mentioned few times back, पहले फेज था कि वुमेन को काम करना है, नाउ वुमेन काम कर रही है, फाइनेंस मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा है, कहाँ जा रहा है, is the point.
Interventions. We need interventions in these things.
Actually, ma'am, sometimes it's like a matter of interest also. Sometimes women really have an interest of working, which he don't get opportunity for. It matters a lot sometimes, and it's
I
not
think
always about
universities,
fun.
I think universities like you all who have incubation centers should be promoting women entrepreneurs or the girls out there and tell them that, come forward and share their business plans. And while you are also, now connected to the industry so well, all the industry stakeholders like here us, Neha, myself, or Munmun, we can be always mentors to those kind of startups. There'll be many more women entrepreneurs wanting to give that support. I think Neha and Munmul will conquer on this, that we will definitely be able to give.
We will be able to. We will be able to.
Thank you, ma'am, for such amazing
But the
words.
question is,
Swarnim University is actually working for the incubation and for the girls especially, and we are very pleased to inform you that almost of the population, all of the students we have, the maximum we have are the females. And also overall, if we view about the faculties and whole the management we are hired, the maximum percent, almost 60%, we have females working staffs. So we are very pleased and we really promote our president sir, the vice president sir, especially promote for the women empowerment. There are lots of support they do for these things, and yes, for mentor like you guys, and it would be very pleasing thing.
Yes, it will be
Yeah,
great.
one more thing I would like to, since you just mentioned, Ms. Jane, about this thing, I would like to share my personal experience. Okay, so there was this startup. I was working. I had an idea and all that. I wanted to register myself as a startup. I know there are so many platforms which talks about it, right? There are so many people who are even there to guide on those lines. Even the website is so informative, so much of that, but still I was confused. I'm just speaking for myself. I was still confused. How could I make the best use of the facilities given? Or like, if I would be able to make the maximum of the opportunities or the schemes mentioned there. So there was no clarity for me. At the end, I had to let go because it was like very clumsy, too much for me to handle. So I'm just citing one of the examples that I had undergone.
Actually, ma'am, at university we have that ecosystem where we support from idea to mentoring to funds. So we have that ecosystem, and we are support. Also, we are vocal for women entrepreneurs, and we highlight them, we promote them, we support them. So we are trying our best on this.
I'm glad to know that.
I
I'm really
think
glad.
what Neha wanted to say was, promoting and people mentoring and end to end you support women, that's all okay, but there is somewhere that the hand holding misses still.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
understand.
we like to recover the part. If it's something like that, we really like to recover it, because we also don't want to confuse anybody at any part. Because the concept is very clear. The incubation is what someone come with the idea, and we have a panels of experts and a number of expert in their respective field. The interest where is, we really provide the proper guidance, and it's have a schedule, it's have a stage by stage where a student come with the idea and how we make it the premature idea to an mature idea. So this is all about it. Just well, ma'am, I will note it down there from now that no one else can be confused by like that further.
Yeah. Like you said, Neha ma'am, are you satisfied with the current pace of economic recovery in India in context of women entrepreneurship?
So I actually answered that in the last question. I believe I see a lot more scopes. There things could be done in multifold, because see, I feel if one woman is doing something, right, be it anything, if she's earning, she's definitely motivating the other 10 in her circle.
Yes.
So other 10 leads to another 10 multifold effect on the economy, if you see. So I see the things in those cycle manners, how, the multiple effects that happens, the repercussions that we can say. So a lot
Right.
more needs to be done, enabling women to break that social stigma कि नहीं आपको तो घर संभालना है, बच्चे संभालना है, हाँ वो तो करना ही है, हमको काम भी करना है.
Absolutely.
That's something I really would like to
Yes.
foster in the Indian woman. That's it.
It is like what it make us happy. It's not like working is the financial need. Sometimes it's make us happy for doing something and having own identity, which is most important.
Very
Yes.
important, right?
So true, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Poonam ma'am, what do you think related means? Are you satisfied with the current economic in the India just now and in context of women entrepreneurship?
Arpita, I would second Neha here that the percentage of entrepreneurs in India needs to grow substantially to make an impact. It's like Modi ji says that sabka saath, sabka vikas. So vikas only happens when there is sabka saath, and there has to be a cluster growth into the number of women entrepreneurs to make an impact. Right. So what happens is that today I see a lot of mother communities. I see a lot of women entrepreneurs, or the women who are looking for jobs, who are looking for work on Facebook platforms where you have 40,000 women in a group, 10,000, 20,000 women in a group, and trying to support each other, telling them that, okay, if you are having a business, why don't you support? Or if you are having a business, promote here, tell others. So earlier we were dependent only on advertisements or newspapers to tell there is business and we need to support the business, or we need to be having the customers. Now there are many other platforms where a woman entrepreneur can, from a very small scale, start and promote the businesses with the investment of very minimal amount for a marketing cost, for their sales promotion cost. So the earlier the sales promotion and marketing costs were so high that was detrimental for the growth of small businesses. Today, with the digital transformation and digital revolution, I think those amount has really gone down, and which will promote a lot of women entrepreneurs sitting at home and doing it. I think women will be able to add more onto how digital innovation or digital revolution has added to a lot of economic recovery for women sitting at home marketing things through their platform at home. So I believe there is much more to be done in terms of even more startups by women, more women entrepreneurs to create an impact for the recovery. The numbers are too less to make that impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I second both of these women here. continuing with Poonam, what Poonam said, the digital landscape now has enabled a lot of women to work from wherever they are, is a huge role,
Yes.
right? Remote meetings, a remote team. It is so much possible now for a woman not to rent an office and set up a team and put together systems. Just sit on a laptop at home, and managing a remote team has become a possibility. So again, I would say, yeah, economic development is happening. Small time women entrepreneurs are coming up. Handholding is happening, but is it enough? Still not. We have a lot longer way to go, and I'm so happy because right now when I go to different forums on Slack and Reddit and here and there, it makes me really happy because there are whole groups of women supporting other women. But my question is, why are there women supporting other women? Why are there not men supporting other women also? Or rather, like, it has to be cooperative, right? It is not gender based. Economy of any country cannot be gender specific. An economy is revived by the hand holding and cooperation of both the genders. That is the point.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes,
Actually, ma'am, regard this, I have read an article where it was very beautifully said about the women entrepreneurs. When a woman started uplifting a woman, there is a higher chances for the growth. Because अगर अपन like normally statement and not mining कि woman से highest jealous होती है in compared to males. This is the research said. पर मैं इसे पर्सनली इतना बिलीव नहीं करती हूँ क्योंकि अगर ये चीज अगर मिट जाती है, एक वुमेन दूसरी वुमेन को उतना ही सपोर्ट करने लगती है, तो देयर आर हाईएस्ट चांसेस. दिस वाज अ रिसर्च ऑफ वन ऑफ वेरी just
हुआ
forgot.
करता
It
था.
was very nicely said. But
में हुआ
yes.
करता था. The cultural phases that we have been through, right? That
exactly.
That dynamic between two women has been described like that to us through media and other channels, but that is not always true. Like, I cannot be jealous.
True, but your opinion was very right. Why always women are supporting women? Like, we are together here, like we are supporting each other, their profile and anything. If someone else from other gender is supporting us, it's like very tightly. They think us very pure. So this point actually make a point. So it's very, very, really.
It is very important that women are given this this confidence that since they are kids, that business तुम भी कर सकते हो. You know, you can make a company, grow a company, and employ people. You have that capacity. Because what happens when these women grow up to be mothers and they have daughters, they can pass that down to their daughters. Right now, it is what the generation that we are in, the generation that our mothers were in. I have never heard from my mother कि बेटा कर लो, risk ले लो, कोई बात नहीं. She would always think twice. करना है, फंस गई तो फंसूंगी. That needs to come from our mothers more so because we are so close to them.
Our mindset, right?
Yes.
I would just like to... is can be happen or not, like it's a doubtful question mark.
ना होगा.
Instead we are instead we are expecting confidence. No, you can do it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
When we got this statement, was like we are pleased for the life.
Yes.
So it is happening and it will happen. I think mothers like myself, Neha here, all having girl child, we will always push our kids to be independent, my daughter to be independent. And not only me, my husband would do that too, because my father did that to me. And this is also about the role of fathers in the life of their daughters, because doing whatever the mother does, the girl child is always influenced more by the father. And I think Neha will agree this to me, having two daughters.
I totally agree to you to add on to it. So, like, most of the time, since we're talking on little personal level, I would just say sometimes I'm really drained out, ki yaar nahi ho raha hai and all that. But then one thing which keeps me motivating is ki these two are watching me, struggling, managing my house and work. They have to do it tomorrow. They can't see me as a failure. This cannot be a model ki ha mama se bhi nahi hua tha. It's really difficult. No, it cannot be. They have to see the confidence in me and they have to do it.
Yes, we are role models for our children.
Exactly. So वो तो करना ही पड़ेगा. That's there. अच्छा, one thing I really wanted to add on. I really wanted to put in front is about the economic growth. So if you have considered, there's a huge segment of the women, educated women, professional women who have taken a break from their career for their kids or taking care of the elderly people in the family. So there's a huge segment of the women who would like to start with the second careers.
That is happening now because of
that is still not happening the way it is happening in other classes of the societies, if you see. So why? Because if I have to name you the best of the 10 companies probably who are just supporting the woman with the second career, why is not the many companies coming up front taking this as a responsibility? Now again, why am I saying all these lines are because I've actually worked on these lines. So why can't we have a CSR reform where they have this number of the women who have joined the company for the second careers after a break? This could be probably one parameter for the people to to work on the CSR level instead of just helping the people or giving the donations to NGO. I'm sure that is also working, but we can, if something like is done like this, and it's again going to impact the economy of the country.
Yeah.
So even start investing so much of money in my girl education, and if she has to take a break for any person, that's the money to वहाँ पे stop हो गया ना, investment हो गया, वो cycle कहाँ हो रहा है?
Right.
So that is this is something which needs to be segmented or targeted in India precisely. Diversity is the jargon for this. So I just hope that's taken care.
Now we must also understand that women, because rightly you stated, Neha, women have the spending power, major spending power in Indian families, because we shop for ourselves and shop for everybody else. So the more freedom we have to spend, and that freedom comes when we earn it for ourselves, not when it is given down to us. Okay, so we must all understand that giving us that freedom to earn means giving us that opportunity to spend. And the more the opportunity to spend, the better the economy will revive. So that has to happen.
Good point, actually. Okay, so Munmun ma'am, what do you think, has the announcement of a COVID-19 vaccine had any impact on the outlook of economic recovery?
People are hopeful. I am hopeful.
At least stock market have become very bullish.
It's good. It's all rosy times. So I would say, क्या मतलब लगा देते हैं अभी.
Positive.
Post-COVID scenario looks like when kids are in the school for 6-7 hours and then given a holiday, summer vacation finally starts. In a phase that the entire economy is out of the houses, being positive. In fact, we see a lot of positive vibes in the market. The stock markets are already very bullish, and we see a lot of people coming out now confidently without any without being scared about कि अब हम travel कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, अब हम और काम पे जा सकते हैं कि नहीं. At the same time, we need to understand that there is a lot of low middle class and middle class population which have lost their jobs and still not revived. So that will definitely take time. while the industries recover. I think the industry recovery package has already been announced by the government way before what we were discussing these issues. So the industry reforms will definitely help the industry revive very soon and help all the classes.
Right.
Neha will be able to add on to this.
Yeah, so now we are more confident about the short-term projects which were on hold for quite some time. So I see them happening. I see the rotation the rotations has already started. So the projects which were on hold have become quite active now. So definitely the vaccine is helping to boost the morale of all the businessmen, be it a man or female.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Being the woman entrepreneur yourself, Poonam ma'am, what were the difference between you and your partner at the time of work? Means, what do you think, and what does it say about the entire scenario between genders?
Honestly, with me and my husband, the way we met was he was working for me when we met. Now we work together, and I'm a deputy managing director. He's the managing director. So now virtually I work for him. So for us, it is very equal, I believe. It's very, very equal. We take business decisions together. We consult each other for anything that is major and would impact our business and our people. At home, yes, I have additional responsibilities than him, running the house, having a child, and also looking after her. Wherever possible, he contributes. But yes, the major contribution remains with me as far as my child and my home is concerned. So it's very I believe it's very 50-50 because we knew each other since the times that we both were working, and we decided that we support each other this way. At the same time, I would say that the decision making power when it comes to both of you mutually, if I have to decide anything about my child, I would not do it unanimously, although his contributions are much lesser than mine at work and at managing my child, but the major decisions are unanimous. So while you include each other for any decision making which is important, it has been a very good journey so far, and he always believes that we have 80% women workforce at our head office in Ahmedabad, and he always believes that, himself that women make very good managers. So all my department leads in our biopharma company are all women. So it's like a mutual understanding and a belief that women makes great managers. So yes, this has been my journey.
Yes, Neha ma'am or Munmun ma'am.
Neha, you go first.
Munmun, you should answer. No, where is Mr. Munmun?
I'm still happily unmarried. So no, but I'm still in the position to answer that question, because there are a lot of families staying around me, husbands, wife, in-laws, children, blah blah blah. And I have seen that happening. I would want to cite the example of the family staying just in front of our apartment. So this lady has 3 kids, all girls, extremely frustrated lady. And she has her in-laws staying with her and the husband staying. Now, earlier, the woman was slammed with a lot of household work. You know, subah se 5 o'clock till raat ka 1 o'clock, she used to be doing household work. But after the pandemic hit, now her husband was into a lift ka business. He was into manufacturing and repairing of lift parts. So before the pandemic hit, he had a factory. He set up a factory. उसमें 50 लाख रुपए डाल दिए उन्होंने. And then the pandemic hit. वो factory बंद करना पड़ा. 50 lakhs he had to give back to the debtors. That is when I saw a real change happening in their family dynamic. That woman got into LIC ka exam, became an LIC agent, started her own food business from home, employed 2 people to deliver food. And I actually saw the guy mellow down a lot and start making her an equal partner in decision making in the household. So it is an eyewitness. Working women have a different kind of respect. In fact, this is really wrong, because homemakers deserve an equal amount of respect. It's wrong, but it happens. It is there. I am not married, so I can't say about myself. But see, we cannot always consider the educated and the class of people when we talk about what happens. We have to take into consideration the lower middle class, the middle class, and the lower class. Where I still think that the moment the woman starts earning, kuch aur ho jata hai. It becomes a different scenario in the. I think there we as a society, we all of us need to have a little kind of change. And a very cool support was given by the Supreme Court this year when they passed that statement which said homemakers are an equal contributor to the Indian economy. It was brilliant.
Brilliant. Yes.
So I don't think it is always about entrepreneurship or earning, or women are a part of the economy anyway. We are doing our level best. So anyway, we deserve it. Give it.
Yes, Neha, ma'am.
See, luckily, touch wood, in my case, it's been equal respect to each other for their work. So having said that, of course, I add to what Poonamji just mentioned, that there is a not a load, I would say, but there is an extra need which is required by my family from me. So that is, of course, taken care. But there's a mutual respect and understanding when it comes to work. So there has been a time when he takes up my kids for the classes because I have some meetings, and there's been time when he is not there even for the kids ka some function, important function, because he is a meeting. So I guess it's about the understanding which needs to be there among the couple if they're working. That's it.
To support each other,
Yes,
basically.
exactly. So without support, it's a very strong support system that a woman needs.
Yes, absolutely. So since a lot of business are how focused on service sectors, and that too through work from home, do you feel it is a good or bad owing to the increased domestic load to the women face?
It's brilliant. Do I answer it first?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
go ahead.
Such a supporter of work from home since years, because I have faced it firsthand. So yeah, it is brilliant. Trust me, workload रहता है, work from home or no work from home. Domestic load रहता है, ठीक है? Work from home just makes it easier for us to juggle between that domestic and the professional load. Jabki going to an office and working, or having a place to work, somewhere makes a routine of सुबह इतने बजे उठना है, बच्चों को इतने बजे तैयार करना है, ऑफिस इतने बजे जाना है, काम इतने बजे तक करना है. Okay, so work from home allows us to sort of distribute that through the whole day, since we wake up till we sleep. It has helped me. I don't know about you. You ladies will be able to tell it because you have kids at home. I don't have them. So what's your take?
So as I told you that, in our office, we have 80% women workforce, and everybody was working from home for the early period of pandemic. Only difference we saw was the kids on the mother's bed during the web calls, and then it was taken gradually. But we started working in our offices very soon, because being a pharma company, we had the permissions to operate with limited staff during the pandemic. But I believe, personally, I believe that, there should be two different places. From the very beginning, since we are children, we are seasoned in a way that ये school जाना है, घर है, school में ऐसे behave करते हैं, घर में ऐसे behave करते हैं, right? So we are taught that in school you have to have certain etiquettes to behave. At home, you definitely are a little more eased out. Similarly, when you go to a workplace, you adopt the discipline of the workplace. You have your own set corner to sit, think, evaluate, where nobody else is disturbing you. Especially having children around, that definitely is one issue where the children have their needs irrespective of when they know that, the mother is working or not, but they are definitely about to barge into your discussions and come up with their queries. So I still believe that, having two places to work helps a lot. We also took this opinion from the ladies, the girls that work for us, and they all were of the opinion that we are happy coming back to offices because it is so much a break from additional domestic load that we were having during the lockdown, the maids not coming in, having the entire functionary to be held by ourselves. So they all enjoyed coming back to work. And if I'm asked to propagate, I will definitely propagate that it has to be working from your workplace. The productivity, I believe, in my case also, the productivity is much more higher when I'm working from my office. Neha will be able to add more to this.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I also support Ms. Poonam for this thing. Because, when I'm at home, I'm of course connected to being a role of mother, homemaker and all that. But then when I'm in office, I'm just at my work. So there is no distraction with regards to anything. So
Yes.
that really is the place where it really boosts my thinking capability, my productivity goes to the next level when I'm there in office. So
Yes.
that's one thing. Secondly, of course, work from home, this thing has helped with Zoom meetings. You save on your traffic time, you save on your energy. Those things are also mattering a lot when we say work from home. But having said this, the benefit of the productivity really matters when I'm working from office. Young girls working in my office, they themselves are willing to come to office and work because they say ki when I'm at home, something or other keeps happening. Ye kar do na, 5 minute ke liye utke ye kar do na. So there is this distraction which continuously affect your working capabilities. So having two different entities for two different roles make things better for both the places.
Yes, absolutely. Munmun is not going to like us for this.
Oh, I'm not going to hate you, trust me. The thing is, you know what? When you have some family to support you back home, it becomes way easier to go to a workplace and work. But when there is no one to take care of your stuff at home, and you go to a workplace and you're mentally there कि घर पे क्या हो रहा होगा because there is nobody to take care of. I think that is when that flexibility has to come in.
I would like to share here that our managers, our female managers who have been on maternity leaves and are still into maternity, although being paid during maternity leaves, they are so forthcoming to come back to work. Although once they come back to work after maternity and a very early stages, there is a lot of division in the mind because the child is young and they have to be thinking about the child, that how he or she is being taken care of. But if their individual will is considered, they are so much willing to come back to work. And that's the spirit, that is something that we really support as an organization. Take a maternity break, come back, don't take a sabbatical. Because once we season our minds to be active pre-maternity, post-maternity, I think we also fight postpartum depressions and any other baggages that come together with pregnancy and being first-time mothers. So I think, yes, we all should promote as entrepreneurs to the other girls that come back to work, keep working whenever you get time, be involved. This has really helped the managers, the girls who have been working for us. So we always promote this, that engagement, the mental engagement from your workplace should always be there. That will make everything much more smoother.
Yes.
So revamp knowledge and capability building resources to help accelerate recovery and adapt for the post COVID-19 environment. How do you think we women are doing that?
Can you put the question again, please, Arpita?
Could you repeat your question?
Yes. 1 minute. What I'm asking was revamp knowledge and capability building resources to help accelerate recovery and adapt for the post COVID-19 environment. How do you think we women are doing that?
I think we already answered that, Arpita. Post-COVID scenario for all of us have been challenging, but at the same time, where as women entrepreneurs or as any other entrepreneur, the spirit of the country has been really, really good, and the spirit of the country has been to bounce back. And we all at certain level have bounced back, tried to support the economy in our own ways, but we are still into the progression mode. I think we are nowhere into a position to conclude that whether this scenario has already impacted somebody. COVID-19 environment or post-COVID environment has already given the results. So we are, I think, it's still into the progression mode where we should be waiting to see that what are going to be the impacts going forward. So that is what I think.
Right. So glad to inform you all that we have with us Asha Pillai ma'am, CFO of Shell Energy India and Hazira Port, chairperson of Confederation of Indian Industries, Indian Women Network, Gujarat. Welcome ma'am from Swarnim Startup and Innovation University.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you ma'am. You are with us. So ma'am, I would like to invite you for closing remarks for today.
All right. Thank you so much. And I think I have to start with thanking Mrs. Nikita Adi Jain, who is the MD Global and Women Entrepreneurship Cell, for sort of, doing this initiative together with Confederation of Indian Industries, Indian Women Network. Monica and Arpita have put this together, and this is not just going to be a one-off session. Our intention is to have a series of such conversations with Swarnam University. This is as part of our Campus to Career initiative, where we do want to reach out to women early on in colleges. I understand this college is not just for women, of course, but women, we believe, do need special handrails and skills and further capacity building initiatives, and therefore we're very pleased to be tying up with Swarnam University. There will also be an initiative to launch a mentor program as well. Confederation of Indian Industries, Indian Women Network, Gujarat, as you have seen, have fairly experienced senior members such as Neha, Munmun, and Poonam have demonstrated today. And we, all of us, I believe, are here not just for ourselves, but also because we are passionate for forwarding the cause of women. So we're all in it together. Now there are a few things I think we need to keep in mind for women, and you might find me repeating this over the next few series as well. Women, like you've all discussed, as I came in, I did hear about sort of maternity, and we don't have a linear career trajectory like men. We will fall off the workplace for a bit or permanently because of the 3 M's of marriage, maternity, and mobility. In all of this, there is data that shows that girls in school, even if they're performing better than boys, they have less confidence. This is exacerbated as they see that their colleagues have got along further than they have, for reasons that isn't beyond their control. There is macroeconomic data that says that $11 trillion of global GDP not accounted for goes in unpaid care work, and this unpaid care work is delivered by women. And the unpaid care work delivered by women, if they come into work, is substituted by other women. So it's also very gendered. While this is fantastic for society at large, it sort of comes at a great cost for the woman itself, and the woman can feel quite lonely at times. This creates what we call time poverty, and this is the reason why we see women drop out the career force. The Economist also has data that says that India specifically, we've got about 25% of women that have fallen off the workforce since back in 2005. And this was a report that was written in 2018. Since then, millions of women have fallen off the workforce on account of the COVID pandemic. And the reason is socio-cultural. So the reason that the Economist says is it's rich irony that women, when they're able to sort of stay back at home, it means that the family is well to do, and it's socially acceptable to kind of stay at home. And the solution, they say, is men to their mops. And I think the solution is really about rejigging the social contract with the spouses and also the families, because you normally move into your in-laws house. So what are the three key skill sets in my mind that a woman needs to have is, first and foremost, faith in yourself. You're going to be, as you come into the workforce, you're going to be as good and as ambitious and better than the boys. You will have times when you have to step back from the workforce, but always believe in yourself. The second thing is to have your career or your entrepreneurship, in this case, we're talking entrepreneurship, at the table and made equally important as the man's career. When we all start off, our money will look like pocket money to the boys, to the men, to the spouses. If you're able to continue, it'll come to a place where you become an equal breadwinner, but you need to be given that chance. HBR has an article that says, if the spouse treats if the husband or the man of the house treats the wife's job as equal and sees her as much a breadwinner, then she has better chances of having a full career. So the success is equally the man's when he is able to, and I know boys are listening, I've said this to the IIMA boys as well. When you sort of have your own partners and wives, make sure as you think about your career, think about your spouse's career. We have enough flexi working opportunities. Even entrepreneurs are also, as like Puna mentioned, providing flexi working opportunities for women, and we are all thinking of diversity. But this cannot succeed unless the family supports the woman. The third thing is the thing of the double blind. So we're all women, and we need to sort of break that. But at this point in time, we're all women who are the lone women in meetings, you know. And even Hillary Clinton, when she ran for being the president, there was data that said a lot of people did not vote for her because they didn't find her likable enough. So the double blind is where a woman, if she's too friendly, is considered too likable and therefore not competent.
Yeah.
And the other side is, if she's assertive, then she's seen as aggressive, and therefore again, there's perception biases that men don't have to go through, and that's a fine balance. And how do you call that out? You call that out by saying, if I were a man, you wouldn't have said this. Capacity building initiatives such as mentorship, coaching, having a buddy, soul sisters, wherever you are all very important. Now, as we go through this series of, sort of interacting with Swarnam University, we hope to be able to get to know all of the students in Swarnam. We hope to have, focused coaching and capacity building initiatives for you and mentorship programs for you. And we probably will think about mentoring circles if all of you are interested, because we know that context to each person is so different, and the challenges and dilemmas each person faces is very different. And finally, I would also like to leave you with what is called the Shell E4 Accelerator. We're working with CIIE, which is IIM's A's incubator. We're working with TIE Ahmedabad. We're also working with PDPU incubator. We would love to work with Swarnam University, thanks to Arpita's initiative. And just a short note on Shell E4 Accelerator based in Bangalore. What we do is we sort of have programs for new entrepreneurs. We also take in 3 to 5 women entrepreneurs under various tracks, such as the growth track for early stage startups, the scale track for stage 1 to 2 startups, and DigiTrack, which is a digital track of Shell. We are very focused on women entrepreneurs because we know that women entrepreneurs, statistically, and the data shows that get less funding and even get less, have been in less rooms to have funding conversations than men do. So we do want to help with all of these stages. And we're looking forward to continuing the collaboration. And thank you so much, Munmun, Neha, and Poonam again,
Opportunity to
starting this.
Thank you, Asha.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Asha ma'am, for being here at Swanim. We are really, really pleased to hear your words. It's so fantastic.
Thank you, Nikita.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Looking forward to have wonderful series in March, probably.
All right. Thanks.
All
Bye,
right.
Right.
everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.